Thing up there? I think I'm recording. Okay, so let's do a mobile phone mock-up rendering with your custom art put in there. The first thing I'm going to do is, now I can't remember what the first thing I was going to do is. Let's go ahead and duplicate the background so we have that. And the first thing I want to do is I want to isolate the screen area because that's the art, that's where I'm going to be placing my art. That's where I'm going to be putting the art that I want to put in here. So I'm going to go use my pen tool over here, just like in Illustrator, and I'm going to create a path around this screen area. And I'm just going to go kind of quick. You can get as detailed as you want, depending on how close up you're going to be on the screen. I took this picture outside real quick in about 30 seconds of me holding a phone. I am not a professional hand model. And so just draw your radius corners there, and then you bring it back up to meet your first point, and there correct any of the curves you want to by going back in. So here is the path that I just drew. I'm going to double click on this and save it as path 1, okay? And I'm going to refer back to that quite a bit during this video. First, and since you can pause this one, I'm gonna go fast. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create a shape from this path. So let's create a new layer, and then we're gonna go back down here to the path 1 and say make selection. And like I was telling these guys, there is 35,000 different ways to do the same thing, so you might have a different method. I am going to fill this selection with the paint bucket red, because that's how old school masks used to be done, was with Rubylith or Amberlith red. So now that I have that shape, and of course you can name your layers if you want. It's highly encouraged. So screen. And now I'm going to go to my desktop and find my artwork that is PNG, JPEG, Photoshop document, whatever you want it to be. You can even open it in Illustrator and copy and paste the vector art directly into Photoshop. This one I'm just putting a PNG in. There's my mobile ticket that I want to mock up into this rendering of a phone. And so I go to Edit, Transform, Distort. That is Crystal and Rosie screaming at each other in case you... And then I'm going to distort this artwork to stretch out to the edges of the screen. And well, what do I do next? Well, how does that help? Okay, where's my screen art? So I have this artwork right above my mask, my screen mask, right below it, and I'm gonna tell this artwork to look down at that mask and create a clipping mask. And there you go. Boom, you've got a clipping mask. So now I can decide if the artwork is perfectly placed the way I want it to be. If it's not, I can go in and adjust a little bit here and there. I can tweak it, bring it in a little bit, and tighten it up, and there we go. Okay, so that's good enough for this demo. And now we're gonna put some highlights, and I'm gonna do super down and dirty, quick and easy. If you have to have this done while your boss is at lunch and he wants to see it when he gets back, this is what you're doing. Always create a new layer. And, it wants to look down at that and see a mask too, which actually this might work in our favor. I forgot about that. So let's go to our gradation and see what happens. Gradient tool. Okay. Smooth. And oh, you can't see up there. I should have expanded the screen. I'm going to keep it at normal and keep the opacity higher so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so it does not want me to put a gradient on that layer. So I'm going to release this clipping mask on this layer only. Oh, no. Okay, not on that layer. On this layer is the one. Release clipping mask. Okay, so I released the clipping mask on everything. So you have to just redo this one. Create clipping mask. Okay. Now for this, now let's go back to my gradient. I've got this layer here. I go back to my path that I created, create a new selection, make selection. I'm on this layer here, and I'm going to see how this gradient looks. Yeah, okay, so the shadow should probably be coming from the bottom. So I'm going to go down here and bring it up. And that's a little bit of a shadow there. Now I'm going to create a new layer and kind of do the same thing. Path, make selection. Okay. And I'm going to go to my gradients. Except this time I'm going to say I want white, because that's going to represent sort of a highlight look. Okay. And I'm going to do it from the opposite corner and bring down the white. Now, that looks terrible. So what we're going to do is go into these individual layers and adjust the opacity, adjust the effect on it. For highlights, I like to kind of jump down to a screen or overlay effect. It kind of gives it that overlay look. And I'm going to pull down this opacity a little bit so that it's kind of barely noticeable. And then for a shadow, I'm going to do I usually like to go straight to multiply. Tends to be the one that works the best with black. And then pull back. And then there you've got sort of a quick and easy, quick and dirty rendering of a mobile phone app using all original art, all original photography. And I'm going to stop this recording and go from there. Let's see how it stops screen recording.